Thank you, Mr. Genep, for making me a professor. I am not yet a professor, and I don't think I'll be, but it would be an honor. Thank you. Let me start with thanking the organizers, UNIAPAC and Ma'am. I've attended probably hundreds of conferences. I spoke at many of them, but it's true. This is one of the special of its kind, meeting with so many people, talking about different things, being in different events. Last night, yesterday, was something very, very special to many of us, although I felt so sorry for those who do not speak Arabic. The same way I felt that I don't speak French in many other areas. So I hope that this conference will be repeated more often, and we get to know each other more and more, and we can speak about different things. I prepared a very comprehensive paper, which is here, which I will share with the organizers. Anybody who's interested to have a copy of it, I'll be more than happy to do. It's quite long, so I, by the request of my colleagues, had to shorten it as much as I could to talk about entrepreneurship and the role of the state, what the state can do. So I will just go with what is left with the paper. I hope it would be at least of a benefit. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable guests, entrepreneurship is the engine fueling innovation, employment generation, and economic growth. Only by creating an environment where entrepreneurship can prosper and where entrepreneurs can try new ideas and empower others, can we ensure that many of the economy issues will not go unaddressed. Entrepreneurship is one of the most important inputs in the economic development of the country and has significant implications for country officials and policymakers. Today, I want to shed light on the prevailing laws in Jordan that foster entrepreneurship. In this paper, I shall try to analyze the pro-entrepreneurship environment, review the existing policies and programs that help the young entrepreneurs to develop baseline information, to acknowledge the contribution made by the laws in supporting entrepreneurship, and to identify the areas of further research. Analysis of the information gathered shows that Jordan is trying to adopt policies and programs that directly support an entrepreneurial economy. Jordan is taking a more macroeconomic approach to tax and regulatory policy. This trend focuses on changes in laws such as general tax reductions and regulations that affect everyone doing business in the country. As entrepreneurial business moved from the startups to high growth phase, these policies should positively affect their costs and net profits. Capital remains indispensable in starting an enterprise. Access to capital, especially equity investments in startups, continues to be a critical issue for entrepreneurs. However, the greater number of Jordan financial assistance programs are in the form of loan guarantees, loan participations, and direct loans. Some of these programs involve direct or indirect equity investments. To date, the government commitment in support of entrepreneurs is mixed. While state funding for entrepreneurial developments lags behind other economic development activities, many policies or programs were created or adopted that have a positive impact on entrepreneurs. Based on different studies, Jordan's claim to have a clearly articulated development objective that focuses on the emergence and success of entrepreneurial ventures. Ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneurs build communities, create jobs, and are a vital part of sustainable. I should not go quickly, I was told, yes, I think. I have to go slow, sorry. Well, if I go slow, then I'll take more time, Mr. Chairman.
Please.
Entrepreneurs build communities, create jobs, and are a vital part of sustainable economic development. Policymakers envision entrepreneurship in combination with innovation to return to a period of sustained economic growth. Entrepreneurship is a process that results in creativity, innovation, and growth. Innovative entrepreneurs come in all shapes and forms. The benefits are not limited to startups, innovative ventures, or new jobs. Both entrepreneurship and innovation are associated with doing something new and policies, if designed appropriately, can be mutually reinforcing in recreating economic dynamism. The dynamic process of new firm creation introduces and disperses innovative products, processes, and organizational structures throughout the economy. Policymakers need to understand the determinants of and obstacles to entrepreneurship, because they must analyze the effectiveness of different policy approaches. Ultimately, policymaking must be guided as far as possible by evidences and facts. For instance, unstable political conditions where policies change frequently discourage business, as investors fear for the safety of their investments, whereas economic freedom in the form of favorable legislation and fewer hurdles in starting and operating businesses encourage entrepreneurship. High taxes that cut into the returns usually discourage entrepreneurs. On the other hand, tax holidays to encourage business attract startups. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of Jordan's economy relies on maintaining and growing the middle class. Therefore, there is a need to create and maintain a steadily growing income from the middle class over the next years. Jordan needs a new economic dynamism, support young entrepreneurs, pull down the barriers that are holding them back, and help new companies break into existing markets. Decision makers have to revise what has been implemented so far and collectively align all the great efforts that have been accomplished over the last few years in order to be able to translate them into creating a future for the Jordanians through creating more jobs. Yet there are several efforts and projects among the government, namely the financial institutions, the private sector, and the donor agencies, which aim to enable the development of access to finance for entrepreneurs in Jordan. These national efforts focus on the following areas: providing incentives to the financial institutions for processing loans for the entrepreneurs, providing the necessary legislation that support SME financing, offering loans, guarantees, schemes, and mechanisms, promoting capacity building for both the SMEs and the financial institutions in SME financing, establishing SME debt funds, SME equity funds, venture capital funds for entrepreneurs, startup businesses, and incubators. On the incentive scheme front, the Central Bank of Jordan had issued a notification in January 2011 to licensed banks in Jordan, enabling SMEs to obtain necessary funding with a favorable 1% discount on the prime lending rate. As for the providing adequate legislation to support entrepreneurs' financing, the International Finance Corporation, IFC, has led the work on the establishment of 3 key legal reforms to enhance access to finance through access to finance in leasing law that was passed in August 2008, the credit information law that was passed in May 2010, and the secured lending, which is currently under preparation. Ladies and gentlemen, in Jordan, the government and NGOs, in partnership with the private sector, have several programs that support financing to startups. In addition, there are a number of private sector venture capital funds which mainly target information and communications technologies, businesses such as Accelerator Technology Holdings and National Net Ventures. Oasis 500, launched by the King Abdullah II Fund for Development in October 2010, is a dynamic initiative that aims at accelerating the development of entrepreneurial ideas in ICT, mobile, and digital media. It aims at providing an initial capital of Jordanian dinar 100,000 to support 500 startups between 2011 and 2015. On a similar financing scale, successful efforts by the microfinance industry in Jordan have extended loans to more than 700,000 beneficiaries, with portfolio exceeds of around $500 million to assist entrepreneurs. These entrepreneurs are from different Jordanian governorates, poverty pockets, and underprivileged communities. However, 80% of the microfinance beneficiaries are young females under the age of 45 years. The benefits generated from the projects implemented by female entrepreneurs usually extend to their families, doubling the effect of the funds. Among the challenges faced by the microfinance institution is the regulatory environment that is restricting deposits to formally licensed financial institutions, limiting funding resources to non-regulated microfinance institutions or donor institutions that provide either direct loans or loan guarantees in partnership with the local commercial banks. The challenges also include the absence of a credit information bureau specialized with providing data on borrowers' credit record to lending institutions. In Jordan, the decision to be an ICT hub for the Middle East came with heavy incentive and directives from the government, although the private sector have also taken an active role. As I've mentioned, the Oasis 500, Jordan's leading startup incubator and accelerator, was particularly initiated by King Abdullah II himself. Jordan's gaming sector is also leading the Arab market, thanks to support from the Jordan Gaming Task Force supported by King Abdullah and global players like Sony, which is opening a studio in the country this year. Hence, it's visible from the above that the government in Jordan plays a crucial role and is more active as compared to few other countries in order to encourage entrepreneurship. Finally, let me conclude. Despite all the challenges, Jordan economy is expected to expand from an estimated 3% increase in GDP in 2012 to a 3.5% in 2013, potentially reaching 4.5% growth by 2017. According to the IMF, in just a decade, according to Jordan-based Information and Communication Technology Association, INTAJ, the ICT sector has come to represent 14% of the country's GDP. Last but not the least, Jordan is at the top of the list for the most technology startups, and its developers are at the forefront of some of the most popular Middle Eastern startups to have come out of the region. Maktoub is one Jordanian company that stands out in particular and is a major trophy on the list of Jordan's tech achievements. It made headlines when it was acquired by Yahoo in 2009 for over $80 million, symbolizing the first significant step in the international tech arena by a purely Middle Eastern company. This acquisition allowed many Maktoub employees to start their own businesses afterwards, and the success story made others also feel that the entrepreneurship industry is moving forward, so they could take the plunge and be an entrepreneur. With the ease of the norms and with increased government support, the entrepreneurship industry is bringing in greater opportunities, and the conditions for entrepreneurship are better than ever before. All other factors notwithstanding, the success of an entrepreneurial venture depends on the entrepreneur himself or herself. The entrepreneur is the leader and driver of the venture. Thank you very much.